Now remember, all of this is happening just a day after Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia wrote to Ashok Gehlot and Rahul Gandhi saying that if Bharat Jodo Yatra has to continue, then COVID protocol should be followed, else it should be called off in national interest. But despite that, the former Congress president made it clear that he is not going to budge. In fact, he even went on to say that it is only a bahana by the centre.
अब यात्रा को रोकने के लिए बहाने बन रहे हैं, मास्क पहनो, यात्रा बंद करो, कोविड फैल रहा है, सब बहाने हैं.
We are very much abiding the rules of this country every time. Whenever the COVID started, we are the party totally abide by the corona guidelines. But here, clearly a double standard of BJP, you can see that. Every day Prime Minister is doing rally. 2 days before only he done a rally in Tripura. Whether the Health Minister wrote a letter to the Prime Minister. That itself is a clear indication of the success of Bharat Jodo Yatra. This is a certificate for Bharat Jodo Yatra success. Therefore, we are very much aware of this fact.
Joining us now on the debate, Shazia Almi, spokesperson of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer-Mitra, political analyst, Ravi Srivastav, and political analyst and leader of the Congress, Shubhransh Rai. Shazia Almi, this is just a bahana.
I mean, I've never heard something more irresponsible than that. And everything is not about politics. After all, if you have to be conscious of the fact that we have to contain this crisis that seems to loom large, though we are in a better position than, of course, our neighbor, where the condition is really serious, the least we can do is not to play politics, cease to be Congress, BJP, RJD, SP, what have you, but really take this seriously, because this is about health of an individual and health of a nation.
Okay, this is health of an individual and a nation, Shubhransh Rai. ये कोई बहाना नहीं है. कोविड बहाना नहीं है. कोविड तो बस दिख रहा है ना कि चाइना से आ सकता है.
देखिए पद्मजा जी, एक हैशटैग ऐसा होना चाहिए हेल्थ ऑफ इंडिया, और मुझे लगता है कि हेल्थ ऑफ इंडिया पे मेन कंसर्न पहले ऊपर आता है कि जिन 5 कंट्रियों से, चाइना, जापान, यूएसए, ब्राजील और कोरिया से कोविड फैल रहा है, क्या हमने एयरलाइंस अभी तक बंद की है? आंसर नो. क्या एयरलाइंस के अंदर मास्क लगाना या सैनिटाइज करने का अरेंजमेंट हुआ है? आंसर नो. क्या जो जन आक्रोश यात्रा भारतीय जनता पार्टी राजस्थान और कर्नाटक में कर रही है, उनके प्रदेश अध्यक्ष और उनके नेताओं को हेल्थ मिनिस्टर मनसुख मांडविया, मैम प्लीज सुनिए ना प्लीज, क्या उनको लेटर लिखा है? आंसर इज बिग नो. क्या होम सेक्रेटरी जन आक्रोश यात्रा बंद कर दी? प्लीज सुनिए ना,
आज ही बंद की है.
अरे सुनिए, पहले सुन तो लीजिए, बीच में मत बोलिए. मैं जो बोल रहा हूं पूरा तो सुनिए प्लीज, उसके बाद बोलिएगा. क्या हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी राजेश भूषण जी ने देश को कोई प्रोटोकॉल, कोई लॉ, कोई रूल्स दिया है? आंसर इज बिग नो. और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, हम और आप तो दिल्ली में रहते हैं, कभी राजीव चौक का मेट्रो स्टेशन देखिएगा, कभी सरोजनी नगर की मार्केट देखिएगा, कभी चांदनी चौक देखिएगा. क्या आपने प्रोटोकॉल्स कुछ फॉलो करने के लिए कहा? नहीं. ये साफ साफ दिख रहा है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी भारत जोड़ो यात्रा से डरी हुई है. जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी कोविड के दौरान कभी मास्क नहीं पहनते थे, अगेन फॉर गुड फोटो सेशन, टुडे ही इज इनटू द मास्क. We have lots of lots.
If the answer to all of Shubhransh Rai's questions are no,
ma'am, please,
then why is the government saying no to Bharat Jodo?
The simple question is, it is vendetta based.
Vendetta based. Abhijit Iyer-Mitra.
Can I? So, Padmaja, unfortunately, what happens here is that we keep having this case where, you know, the government goes on issuing guidelines, people keep ignoring it, and then the government gets blamed. This isn't the first time. Do you remember during, I think it was 2021 or 2022, because, you know, these last 3 years, such a haze, I've lost my sense of time. But when elections came, the BJP did not want to do in-person campaigning. They wanted to do home campaigning. Opposition parties insisted that there should be rallies and things like that. It blew up into, I think, what was the Delta variant, and everybody blamed the BJP for it. If you remember, even in the first wave, funds for oxygen had been dispersed. The powers had started getting centralized by September. So when the states assumed power, but actually spent any money on oxygen, and then again the BJP. What the spoke for me said was important. Remember, till a week back, not started hearing stories coming out of China. We started hearing them in the last days.
Okay, we'll just fix your audio, Abhijit. But the gist of what he is saying is that this is typical behavior, Ravi Srivastav, where you engage in irresponsible behavior and then blame the government, saying what was the government doing?
Padmaja, this is being said by the government, which during the peak of COVID-19 organized a Kumbh Mela and they infected more than lakhs of people from that, and it did not stop there. Now, why I'm asking that this particular yatra is uniting India, but actually it is breaking BJP. They are scared.
Sir,
they are rattled.
are you denying that there is a possible uptick in COVID cases? That there could be a possible uptick? That there is a possibility?
Come out with a proper guidelines. Let the government issue it. Congress has said yesterday, I heard their statement.
Issued guidelines.
They said, you issue the guidelines and we will abide by that.
The minister wrote and said, ye 3 guidelines hai, please follow it. Otherwise,
Padmaja, minister is nobody. Minister has nobody. It has to come from the government of India. And it has to be followed by everyone.
Minister
making a statement on the TV channel or a press conference has got no value.
TV channel. He wrote a letter.
Nobody bothers about it. You keep writing letters. Even IMA is writing letter today.
Nobody bothers.
Even IMA is writing letter today.
As Nitish ji famously said, piyoge to maroge. Then that same logic also applies कि आप नहीं सुनोगे तो COVID फैलाओगे.
Any third person can issue the guideline here. Even the IMA has issued a guideline.
Who bothers about it? Ministry and the IMA are very different, sir. Abhijit wants to respond.
Joshi, it has to come from
the
government of India.
मोदी जी थोड़ी ना आपको ट्वीट करेंगे कि ये गाइडलाइन है.
To come from the government of India. It is not minister's statement.
It is not a minister's statement. It has been issued. Okay. Here is a statement.
This is the Prime Minister of India saying all of this. This was also. This was also, if you remember his tweets, when the whole thing shattered in February. If you remember in November, December, January, the Prime Minister said, please stay home, please keep your guard up, etc., etc., etc.
was doing election rally in Tripura and Meghalaya day before. Where is the guideline? What are you talking?
You know, the entire stories about China only came out yesterday, don't you?
BF7 was identified in October. What are the government doing in the last 2 months?
Padmaja, as you can see, it's pointless debating this, because this gentleman has decided to lose his cool
about what is happening today.
I don't know why he's screaming
today.
At me, but whatever.
Let's not scream, you'll get a bad throat, sir.
I think this
Let Abhijit finish his point, then I'll come back to you.
See,
and then I'll go to
Shahid,
then I'll go to Shubhransh Rai. In that order. Go on.
The point here is very simple. The government has systematically, right from the Prime Minister down, been saying, please take precautions throughout. For the last 2-3 years, this has been the case. And the opposition either mocks it, ridicules it. If the Prime Minister says it, they said, why isn't notification issued? If notification is issued, they say, why didn't the Prime Minister say it? Nobody will take it seriously under the Prime Minister say it. This constant goalpost shifting, irresponsible behavior, which exacerbates the entire issue, and then the government gets blamed for it. And this is now becoming such a systematic pattern. You can play politics, but you can't play around with people's lives. Now, I disagree with a lot of the medical advice given, but I follow it because I think it's everybody's civic responsibility to follow it. Whether if you're a vaccine denier, a vaccine acceptor, it doesn't matter. Right? You follow the advice that's given. It's coming right from the top.
It's coming from Parliament.
Also,
it's coming from the top. Not only do you follow advice is not being followed here, Shubhransh Rai, but to say that COVID ek bahana hai. Such a senior member of Parliament saying COVID to bahana hai, ji.
पद्मजा मुझे ना 60 सेकंड प्लीज इंटरप्ट मत करिएगा।
नहीं करेंगे,
कोविड तो बहाना है, वो इसलिए है कि 129 लोगों का कोविड रिपोर्ट किया गया फ्रॉम लास्ट 24 आवर्स, और 129 लोग हर घंटे हिंदुस्तान में बेरोजगारी और भूखमरी से मरते हैं। नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार की यह उपलब्धि है, हंसने को नहीं मिल रहा है। यह कैसा प्रोटोकॉल है कि अगर प्रधानमंत्री को रैली करनी होती है तो गाइडलाइंस खत्म हो जाती है। मतलब देश हंस रहा है मैडम, देश ये पूछ रहा है कि ये जो यात्रा है ये महंगाई के खिलाफ है, बेरोजगारी के खिलाफ है, टूटती हुई भाईचारा के संबंधों के खिलाफ है। गाइडलाइंस अच्छा है ना, बनाइए, लेकिन गाइडलाइंस फॉर नेशन। अगर हेल्थ मिनिस्टर ने जो ट्वीट किया, उनकी जगह होम सेक्रेटरी अगर ये हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी ये गाइडलाइन इशू करते तो ऑल स्टेट्स ऑफ इंडिया, देन इट्स सेंसिबल।
I mean, am I unable to communicate? Sir, एक second. Let me actually quote to you. Let me quote to you what has come from the Prime Minister's office. आप health secretary भी छोड़ दीजिए, वो भी आपके लिए काफी नहीं है. He is a nobody, as Ravi Srivastava has already declared. This has come from the Prime Minister's office. Prime Minister's office says, and I quote, PM cautions against complacency, advises for maintaining strict vigil. PM emphasizes need for strengthened surveillance with focus on genome sequencing. States advised to ensure operational readiness of hospital infrastructure. Advises adherence to COVID appropriate behavior, including wearing mask. PMO ने बोला है, PMO ने.
एक मिनट, आज मैं सुन तो लीजिए सब, मैं इस आंसर को साजिया जी करेंगे, आप प्लीज सुनिए। सारा काम जैसे रेल मंत्री का काम प्रधानमंत्री जाके झंडा दिखा के करते हैं ना, सारा काम प्राइम मिनिस्टर का नहीं है। सुनिए एक मिनट, क्या हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी ने स्टेट्स को दिया? हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी को दिया? आंसर इज नो, नहीं दिया। क्या आज आपने अपने ऑफिस में कोविड प्रोटोकॉल, एक मिनट मैडम प्लीज, क्या नहीं दिया? आपका कैमरामैन बिना मास्क लगाया हुआ है,
क्या लॉजिक है आपका? मतलब प्राइम मिनिस्टर का काम भी नहीं है, हेल्थ मिनिस्टर का काम भी नहीं है, हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी का काम भी नहीं है, तो पता नहीं किसका काम है। नो, आई जस्ट फाइंड, आई मीन, यू नो, एवरीबडी इज लिसनिंग टू दिस डिबेट, सो आई डोंट नीड टू से टू मच। यू सी, इट इज सो ऑब्वियस, दैट a lot of people have completely lost their bearings and are completely not just sounding incoherent and incomprehensible, but actually have nothing to contribute to this. So for them, the health secretary is a nobody, even the health minister is a nobody, if you please, and of course the prime minister is a nobody. So who's not a nobody is Rahul Gandhi. You know, why is this man speaking in the middle? Why is this man speaking? Anyway, I can't speak like this.
Okay, you know, the funny thing is,
जाग चुका है, आपके जाने का वक्त आ गया है।
I think you should allow me to speak, Padmaja, because I haven't had my chance.
Okay, finish your point. Yes, Shazia.
Okay, very good for you. कहीं आपको जाना ना पड़ जाए, भाई किसी को खुदा ना खास्ता जाना ना पड़ जाए कोविड के चक्कर में। आप छोड़ दीजिए इलेक्शन के, खुदा ना खास्ता किसी को जाना ना पड़ जाए, जिसको जाना नहीं चाहिए। ऐसी बातें ना कीजिए, ऐसी बातें ना कीजिए। देखिए, नहीं, बिल्कुल ऐसी बातें ना कीजिए शिवराज जी, थोड़ा समझदारी के साथ। देखिए, सिर्फ पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स यहाँ पे बात नहीं है, ठीक है ना? They're constantly talking, Padmaja.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Please, let's not have a shouting match, gentlemen.
Is to
20 seconds of silence to Shazia, then I'll come back to you. Yes.
That's all I want. So for them, the health secretary is a nobody. The health minister is a nobody. Prime Minister himself is a nobody. The only non-nobody they have is Rahul Gandhi, who thinks this is all a bahana. Clearly, he is not up to speed or cannot comprehend what is happening in the world or is able to take stock. But this complete delusion, you know, of some kind of grandeur, of who he is and what power this Bharat Jodo has is totally lost on him. This is a suggestion that do not, please, if you don't want to do away with the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the least you can do is follow and insist on COVID protocols.
Because here's the thing.
I think the sense of this whole, this hallucinatory, behavior, that, there is some kind of a fear
and
about Bharat Jodo Yatra. The only fear is that of the Congress.
Okay, this is not even about the merits or the efficacy of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, but a simple request, because in 2 days from now, this Yatra will be entering Delhi as well. Just maintain basic protocol in nobody's interest but their own, because God forbid if somebody was to get infected, it will be the people who are in the Yatra. That's the simple point. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, Shazia Almi, for joining me.